Hi, everybody, and welcome to Evolve Love. I am your host, Amanda, and I am so happy that you have found this podcast. Are you looking for daily inspiration, motivation, and wisdom to help you begin your day feeling supported and uplifted with love? Well, you have come to the right place. This podcast is a space of encouragement where you can be held in your self-development because in order to evolve, you need love, and it begins here with you. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Evolve Love. Happy Monday. It's a brand new week, and I am so looking forward to this week because I had a really exciting thought or realization come, before recording this week. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a good and fun topic, fun for summer. It is light, but it can also be as deep as you need it to be. But when I looked today at the moon sign for Monday, it is in Pisces. And what I noticed is lately with the podcast, I always use the Monday moon sign to help inspire the week ahead. I think about the themes around that zodiac sign, and I think about what can we talk about that's going to help us through the week ahead in this energy. And what is so interesting is the moon is in Pisces again, and I feel like we keep cycling. I'm like, oh, didn't we just have a Pisces moon on a Monday? And here I am doing another Pisces-inspired week. But I feel like, it'll start to shift and change here, I'm sure. However, it's so unique and so interesting, and I'm really enjoying this process. But if we still keep getting the Pisces moon or the same moons over and over, in the end of summer, I may switch it up just a little bit so that we can get some different sign influence and stuff like that into our week. But this week is going to be, like I said, super fun. And this thought that came to me is a phrase that I tend to say a lot with my sister about random things. And the phrase that we say is, "'Tis the season." "'Tis the season" all the time. It is the season for this. It is the season for that. "'Tis the season" is usually something that is said around Christmas or the winter holidays. But for us, we'll just be "Oh, 'tis the season." We just say that. And I had, again, this realization around it. My sister is a Pisces, so I'm not only honoring her in this, but I'm also honoring the idea of the Pisces inner knowing, the Pisces intuition. And you'll see how this ties in just a moment. But something that came up in last week's theme, in our Just Because theme, is that I spoke on feelings that come up for me during certain seasons. And it made me realize too that these ideas have really been ingrained in myself. So when the summer comes, even though I am an adult now and I've been out of school for a very long time, I still think summer vacation, or just as that cool, crisp hint of fall air comes in, I get the urge to go to the store and buy notebooks and pens, just as if I was going back to school. And as I had this thought, I had this realization that I thought, is it the season? Is it the shift of the season? Or is it the themes of the zodiac signs that we experience at this time? And I really think it's a little bit of both. It's really fascinating, and I wanted to share about it this week because I feel like a lot of you spoke to me about how the astrology themed podcast week themes and all of that was very interesting and that people got a lot out of it. And I feel like this could be a good realization for all of us. And what I thought about it is really going deep here. Did society set itself up with these rhythms because of the zodiac energy at that time? Is this something that people naturally felt and laid out the calendar in this way? Does it connect to the stars? Does it come back to the stars? Is it all this connection in the way that we live to be in harmony with the energies. And I know obviously energies are changing too, because there's so many things in play. It's not just the zodiac season, it's the planets, it's the rhythms, it's the retrogrades, it's this, it's that. It's always changing. But I couldn't help but notice that every time this certain time of year rolls around, I feel a certain way, or I start to think about certain goals, or I start to dive into certain things. And it always happens. So I'm curious, does this ever happen for you? Like, do you have these connections as well to zodiac seasons and feelings that come up for you? Because right now we are in Cancer season, and something that always comes up for me in Cancer season is this feeling of needing to deeply reconnect to myself as a home, taking care of my body as a home. I can't even tell you how many times I would like initiate or begin a summer challenge of some kind along with Cancer season. And you know, Cancer is a water sign. It's an emotional sign. But when I think of Cancer, I think of the crab shell and being within the home and knowing that I have to take care of the home. Cancer is also like the sign of the mother and has like deep family connection. And with that, it's like not only the home we live in, the physical house, but also the body that we live in. And so I also have incredibly specific memories of, I always was very pregnant during Cancer season when I had my pregnancies, because it was hot, it was summer, and I was uncomfortable. And so I was thinking about that too in relation to the home that I was holding for babies that were going to arrive in the fall. And it was just, you know, such a beautiful thought. And then when we're going to skip around to just a couple other zodiac signs, because I don't want to go through all of them right now, because that would be a super long episode, but maybe we'll revisit others in like future episodes. But like Virgo season, when I was talking about that feeling of like wanting to go to the store and buy new notebooks, wanting to buy new pens, wanting to buy new office supplies. And I haven't been in school for years. And I want to even say like decades, which sounds like a lot, but like, yeah, I think that's the truth. But yeah, when you think about Virgo, okay, a huge part of Virgo too is that like organization, practical, you know, planner, the keeping it all together, the kind of like daily life rhythms and routines. And is it Virgo season or is it back to school season? Because like, did society set it up this way, or is this just how I feel? Does anybody resonate with that? I don't know. I find it like so interesting. And then two, let's skip. I'm like, you know, I'm just looking at all the signs here and what I wrote about, because I feel so many things here. Okay. So like, Scorpio season. So Scorpio to me is, you know, that deep, darker type of energy. And in the place that I live, that is like really the depth of fall, and everything is turning colors with the leaves. There's Halloween. There's this feeling of, you know, spookiness, honestly. And I loved that growing up. Like Halloween was probably one of my favorite holidays growing up. And I just remember decorating for it and like all this stuff, which was really wild because I don't have like the same connection as I did to it when I was younger. But I remember like trying to plan my costumes way ahead of time and just all the things. But I felt that glimmer of like shadow and like, you know, the depths of the Scorpio season at that time. And then Capricorn season comes along eventually. Like, again, I'm skipping around here. And when you think about Capricorn, so Capricorn comes around, you know, New Year's. And a lot of the time growing up, I always created New Year's resolutions. As an adult, I have kind of shifted that more towards like intentions, or like I shared with you on an episode recently about how I break it down using a podcast girl that I really, really love listening to, and how she breaks down her intentions and all of that. But when you think about New Year's as a time, sometimes what we're feeling there is the Capricorn energy. Like similar to the Virgo, it's like you're setting the structure, you're creating the foundation. This is, it's structure, it's planning, it's the bullet lists, it's all the things that like, I'm going to be practical about this. And it's like, to me, it's like a business driven sign. And that's kind of like when we lay out all of our intentions or our resolutions. And then what's so interesting too is Aries season. When we get to Aries season, I always feel like spring is happening and stuff, but I always feel this fire to initiate. Like, I don't know if it's because I live in a place that has all 4 seasons and like really the depths of all 4 seasons, but like when that spring is approaching and winter is far behind or winter is soon to leave, I just feel like this ignition of like, let's get going, spring into action. I always love doing a spring spiritual challenge, like not just like a fitness or wellness challenge, but something where I get like really into the depths of who I am and who am I going to be in this spring season? What am I growing and developing into? And it's just so interesting to me because all of this has happened multiple years in my life. Like, it's not just like one year I randomly was like, oh, I'm going to like live a little bit more by the zodiac signs. No, I have always lived like this. And I haven't always known about the zodiac signs. I mean, I was definitely aware of it from an earlier age, I think, than others. Like, I remember buying the yearly horoscope books at Barnes & Noble for like the Taurus edition or whatever, but it was like you could go and you could buy an entire book just for your zodiac sign for the year. And I can't even remember. It was like, they were pretty famous because I remember like going every year and being like, I need to get the new one. I need to get the new one. And I was like young, like elementary age. Like, I loved all of this stuff from a very young age. However, I didn't think of myself living intentionally with the rhythms of these signs, and yet I did it anyways. And I look around and I think about all the ways that society does this too. Like, it's not just me that feels ignition during Aries season. You know, Aries being the fire, Aries being that like takeoff energy. It's the first sign in the zodiac. It's like that, you know, that self energy, that I am energy. I'm going to do this. I'm going for it. So many people like jump into like action at this time of year. And is it the weather? I don't know. Because like for those of you that don't experience like the full blown effects of every season, do you feel this? And I'd be so interested to know, because this is the deep dive that we're going into this week here on Evolve Love is 'tis the season. Is it the weather season or is it the zodiac season? And I think this is going to reframe how we look at everything in our life. And if you're here, I think you already may like, you know, the wheels are turning, like things are clicking if they haven't already for you. And you're like, Amanda, this is old news. I already know this stuff. But like either way, I think that you are here for this, and it's so fun because sometimes we can just blame it on the season, right? 'Tis the season. 'Tis the season for a fitness challenge. 'Tis the season for back to school supplies, whatever it is. So I'm so looking forward to jumping into more with you this week around this topic because I think it's a really fun one. And also too, like I said, we can go as deep as we want in this. So I am so looking forward to tomorrow's episode where we're going to dive into some action items around this. So make sure you tune in then. And I'm so grateful for your support and your listens. Make sure that you give a rating or a review if you haven't already, just to help the podcast be seen from others who may be looking for this same exact content. So yeah, I'm so excited to talk with you tomorrow, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Monday.